Good morning, everybody. I'm Dan Miller. I'm the senior analyst and actually founder of Opus Research, and I'm here to welcome you to San Francisco and kick off of the very first Place Indoor Marketing Summit. I'm actually here to introduce Greg Sterling and get things rolling, but because I don't know how many people are familiar with Opus Research. I thought I'd give a little, actually they put this in a funny order for me. There you go. Thought I'd give you a little background. It's a company that started back in 1985 to focus on a number of aspects of interactive services. We call it conversational commerce, which is the technologies that help individuals talk to other individuals or carry out business with the companies they want to carry it out with. Greg runs our mobile internet program, which is called Internet to Go. And there's a number of services that we cover that have to do with self-service and assisted self-service, the evolution of things like virtual personal assistants, Siri, and that sort of thing, and general stuff that's going on in the cloud and taking advantage of more intelligence on the devices people carry around and the possibilities created because there's so much computing power and database power and analytics going on in that great computer network that we call the cloud. So I thought I'd say hi, get you acquainted with us. I do want to thank the sponsors of this very first conference. In a way, we owe a lot to Greg for conceiving of the idea of doing this. I think we're at a very, very important point in the evolution of both geolocation, of mobile commerce, and that sort of thing. And this is going to be a conference that exposes a lot of the points of interest. And there will be a reception from 5:30 to 7 tonight, something to look forward to where we'll get to talk about it. But at this point, I want to turn it over to Greg to talk about the agenda, what to listen for, and what to expect, and just welcome you. So thank you very much.
Okay, about half of our audience hasn't yet shown up this morning. I guess this is a little bit early for everybody. But so thanks for being here. And I'm Greg Sterling, as Dan Miller indicated. This is the first Indoor Marketing Summit, first event of its kind, designed to really show all the developments that are happening with indoor location and how those connect up with the larger digital marketing ecosystem. And we think that the advent of indoor location is pretty profound and has implications across the board. It's really about connecting the dots from online ad exposures and online marketing to offline transactions where most of sales occur. So this is the agenda today. We will go through all of these sessions in rapid fire order. It's going to be a very dense day of content, and we hope that you participate, ask questions, challenge the speakers, interact at the breaks, and then, as Dan mentioned, there's a reception sponsored by Telmetrics later tonight, and this is the dress code, so everybody needs to conform to that. All right, so everybody's a little bit sleepy, it seems. Not enough coffee. We need an enthusiastic audience. This is not, this is not an audience that's going to be allowed to sit back passively. You're going to have to participate, applaud, throw things at the speakers, that sort of thing. So again, thank you to our sponsors. We couldn't have done this event without you, and we hope that there will be future events in New York and Europe that we're planning for next year, and we will expand the scope of this conference to include additional content, which we could have done at this event, but decided to keep it one day for the inaugural event. Okay, so. The Wi-Fi. Oh yes, yes. Hashtag Place 2013. Wi-Fi is 2013. Yes, that's the year. Place 2013. The Wi-Fi is Palace Meeting Room, or rooms plural, and then the code is Place 2013, lowercase p. So hopefully that will show up for you. It hasn't shown up for me. Okay, so before we begin with the first panel, which is the state of indoor location, I wanted to go through some basic consumer data that indicates why this whole developing space is happening and what the consumer side of it is. So many of the pieces, or most of the pieces for indoor location are already in place. We've got basic infrastructure, cell connectivity, Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi. We've got all the devices, smartphones chiefly, at critical mass in the US and Europe and in Asia. And then we don't, I often liken this space to mobile payments. And in the mobile payments context, there was a bunch of new consumer behavior required, and that's not true here. Consumers are already using smartphones in stores for various types of research, and that's a very widespread behavior. Privacy is a major issue that we'll be talking about later today. I have a personal shutdown story. Our FTC speaker, I don't think is going to be able to come because she's been furloughed, unfortunately. So we have a replacement, luckily for her, and Jules Polonetsky, and that session should be very good and very interesting. But consumers will share in-store location for clear benefits. So as I mentioned, there's a widespread global Wi-Fi infrastructure that already exists. Most of U.S. adults and billions of people around the world have phones. 64% of the U.S. population, according to Nielsen, mobile population now has smartphones. That's nearly 150 million adults. In Europe, the story is very much the same. These numbers are actually Q1 numbers, so they're larger now. So depending on the survey you consult, you'll see different things. Pew, Jywire, location-based ad network, Google, and there's other data too that indicates a majority of consumers are already using their smartphones in stores. How many people are doing some version of showrooming, checking prices, getting reviews already? Yeah? I need to see more vigor and enthusiasm from the audience. Okay, all right. So this, the lowest number here is 66%, the highest number is 80%. Now, what do people do in stores? The top activities are pretty much the same across surveys. We have a survey, the e-tailing group did a survey for a local corporation, and Jywire's survey. These are surveys within the last couple of months, and basically people are looking for deals or offers. They're looking to compare prices either with other stores or online, e-commerce. They're looking for reviews and product information, and then there's a bunch of other stuff depending on the answers permitted in the survey that people do. Many people send pictures of products to their friends to get opinions and so on and so forth. The IAB released a study earlier this year that was pretty interesting. Contrary to retailer fears, what this study showed is that people who use their smartphones in stores were actually more likely to buy the product than they were to leave the store without buying it. So 65%, two-thirds said that the availability of a smartphone had a positive impact and made them more likely to buy the product than not. In our recent survey, we found that about half of those under 53, actually decided not to buy something as a result of some piece of information they got from their phone, essentially in the store. So there's a very mixed picture here. It can give consumers confidence to buy when they get the information they need. It's a good product, the pricing is fair, et cetera. Or if they get some piece of information that invalidates that, or some other, a friend says don't buy it or something, it can also be a trigger to not buy something. So it's a double-edged thing. Privacy. This is a big issue. We'll be talking about it in multiple sessions in addition to the dedicated privacy session. And this is Pew Data. Consumers basically want to have control over who knows where they are. So 70% in this recent Pew survey released in July said that it was very important or somewhat important for them to be able to control the who knew about where they were when they were accessing the internet. So this is an important area. But by the same token, People who are given clear benefits, tangible benefits for either checking in or sharing location will do so. So according to our survey, 60% of people have checked in at some point, and of those who've checked in, a majority will share their location for deals or loyalty points or rewards, or in some cases, exclusive or personalized content. Another survey from Swirl, one of the app developers in this indoor space, had a survey released this summer. Half of in-store female shoppers would share their location for offers and content. So there's a very high level of willingness to share information, even though people are kind of reticent to share location without a clear sense of why. So as we move throughout the day, so these are some things to think about and themes to consider. The cost, the ubiquity, the accuracy of the different indoor location technologies, which is what we're going to get into in just a minute, literally. Privacy issues. Is it going to be opt-in? Is it going to be opt-out? What's going to need to be disclosed to the consumer? How will offline analytics change ROI calculations, both in terms of mobile and digital generally? I mean, this is a big deal, and there's a lot of stuff happening to try and connect the dots between the online world, ad exposures, and offline buying or transactions. Google's doing it, Facebook, Twitter, lots of different companies are trying to connect the dots. How sophisticated is the targeting going to get? I mean, we hear a lot of sort of science fiction scenarios out there about personalization and Minority Report and so on and so forth. There's a lot of technical capability, but what's really going to happen? We'll explore that. And will brands be able to take advantage of this precision in stores? The ability to target people at the aisle level. We've got a dedicated session on what we're calling micro-fencing, in-aisle targeting. Who's going to own the in-store channel? Is it going to be retailers? Or is it going to be third parties? Is it going to be ad networks who are going to be able to target people in stores because they know that you're in a Target or a Walmart or a Subway or a McDonald's or whatever it is? And then, very important, and the final session of the day is this question of hype versus reality. What is going to happen? What is actually going to roll out? What technologies will be adopted, and what will marketers be able to do with them? And with that, please rise, panelists, and ascend to the lofty perch. Okay, yes, applause is appropriate. So